So, years ago, this sorry motherfucker showed up to Camden and wanted to be your apprentice, your Padawan. And if you recall, I instantly disliked him. It was my upbringing. I lived in some foster homes when I was young, and I developed a keen and quick sense for a bitch. And this dude was a bitch, and I was really mean to him.
You were, man. Like, I had to save him from you. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, he drove a Miata, I think.
We'll call it a Miata. Yeah, we'll call it a Miata. I'll go with that.
I thought
it was an S2000.
Oh, that's a decent car.
He lived here for like a couple months, and it got cold and iced, and his fucking car froze to the driveway. Like, it literally wouldn't leave the driveway.
And that's a good description of him. Froze to the driveway.
It was.
So this piece, I knew he was a piece of shit. I was very abusive to him because I'm protective of my friends, and I just smelled a bad egg. So I thought it would be in your best interest for me to run this motherfucker off. This was a grown man, and I had him in tears from the things that I was saying to him. And what did he do to you?
He was a bitch, man. Like, he just didn't. I let him in because he was alumni. He took, some classes. We needed some manpower. He came out here, and, he did what we needed to do, but he wanted to start a business, and that's basically what he did. So he pulled some bitch move. We started the combat cock thing as a side thing for him to make a little bit of cash and just, fucking have something to occupy his time. He would run through girls. He was a goofy little kid, very, very insecure, and he was just odd-looking little fella. And we would introduce him to girls left and right, chicks that were going to fuck him that night. And he's like, oh, she has a mole, or she has her big toes just too big. There's always some silly shit.
Right.
Like, motherfucker, do you not have a mirror in your house?
Right.
Like, are you a vampire? You don't have a reflection? Because she's way out of your fucking league. So, anyways, we've started this to keep him busy. He was using scrap and shit. So, this goes on for a few weeks, and, I set up a Facebook page for him, and we had the website for him. I had my guy fucking build a website for him, and we just took these fucking little pincushion things and made them really fucking cool. So he was going to go to California and take a Domo doll, this fucking stupid square stuffed animal. So in Walmart, there's a crane machine, and after about 10 minutes and fucking $15 of him not getting this fucking crane machine, like everything else in his life, he just didn't have the coordination or whatever it was. So I said, dude, he's going to take this to his mom's. I bought him a plane ticket to go home for Christmas to see his mother. He didn't even have to pay for that. And I'm like, dude, take the combat cock. He's like, we can't call it the combat cock. We'll call it the battle bird or the super chicken. Or I'm like, dude, that's gay as two boys fucking. Like, we're going to call this the combat cock. He's like, we can't call. I'm like, bullshit, motherfucker. I will choke the shit out of you. This is the combat cock. So he takes it, and he's taking pictures, as he goes around California and shit. Dudes really like it. They're like, oh, that's cool. He comes back, and I'm like, dude, guys really like that fucking combat cock. We should make these, and better yet, I will help you make them. I showed him how to sew, and we figured out how to build these things, and he started selling them. He's like, well, I'm going to sell them for $10. I go, bullshit, you're going to sell them for fucking $25. Well, I don't think people will buy them. Right. You're driving a Miata, and I have all the shit you want to have. Obviously, fucking who's going to listen to you? You work for me. You're in a prime fucking position to learn a thing or two. Fucking keep your mouth shut and your fucking eyes open. One of those deals. So, we build these things. He comes out the gate at $15 with them. Fucking retard. He must hate money. So, he's building them, and he's using scrap, and I'm letting him use scrap and shit. Well, about a month goes by, and we go to ship some fucking black micro rigs. And I'm like, dude, why do we have these fucking 50 micro rigs sitting here? Why are they not at our dealers? Well, they can't ship because we're out of 1-inch webbing that we need for the waist straps. I'm like, how did that happen? We just fucking had all this webbing come in. We were buying a case of webbing back then, not a fucking truckload of webbing. He's like, well, I don't know, man. I don't know. So I thought it odd, didn't really think too. I was like, oh, man, maybe I fucked up and didn't order enough fucking, black webbing or whatever it was. Well, a few days go by, and it's like Friday, and the same thing happens. Why are these fucking Coyote micro rigs sitting here, and why have they not shipped out? We don't have any 1-inch tan webbing enough, coyote, whatever it was. And like we had rolls of it. I had unpacked it. I knew we had the shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, Andrew? Like it's me and you and a few other people. Like we were all up here in this building. We didn't have 2 buildings to go between. There was no fucking building on the back of the building. So he didn't have an answer. And I'm like, I know this shit was here. Something's fucking up. And never did I suspect him. Well, we fucking leave. And I had forgotten something here that night, and I come fucking rolling back in here at 9 o'clock at night, and his car's here. He ain't supposed to be here fucking on his own. I didn't, whatever, he had a key, I didn't think too much of it. I come in, I hear, psh, 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 and he's cutting up. Lo and behold, what is he fucking cutting? He's cutting a roll of fucking 1-inch tan webbing that I can't ship all of our micro rigs for. So I flipped my shit. And I'm sure he had a little bit of fear in him, and I didn't.
What was he doing it for?
He was cutting up fucking combat cocks. We couldn't ship our rigs because he had stolen our fucking webbing, and rather than cutting the scrap intails by hand and burning them, he's on my digital cutter cutting up fucking tails for the combat cocks. So I said, okay, I'll halt. Fucking, there won't be another fucking chicken made here. You fucking refund everybody you owe right now until we get some fucking accounting online. Like, I didn't even put an axe to it. I didn't say, hey, this isn't fucking
You brought
happening.
this motherfucker into your business, taught him how to do it, set him up, sent him home to see his mom.
I did.
Fed him. When you went out to meals, did he ever pay?
No, we paid for it. But I do that for anybody. I would do it for anybody that works for us. That's a given. I mean, it's just like paying for my kid. I mean, their family. So it's not that he got anything special. But yeah, we took care of him. I'm fucking
right.
I took care. He was here.
You got the full John Willis effect.
Like he was on another. It was like being on another planet for him. You know? He'd never been. He lived with his mom. He'd never been away from home.
Never been around fun people.
So we did take care of him. He got to do a lot of very cool shit. And anybody works here gets to train at TAC Response for free. James fucking usually hooks him up way beyond that. Even.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, we're gonna have fucking income and outgoing. You're gonna have a fucking balance sheet. You're gonna know what you made. You're gonna know what you owe. We're gonna do some simple fucking accounting, and you're going to buy these rolls of webbing from me. They're $35 a roll of webbing. You're gonna buy it. I'm not gonna charge you shipping on it. And he fucking gets all fucking emo for a few days, and this was on Saturday. So he comes in Monday. We work all through the week, and he doesn't really talk a whole lot. We're still going to the gym. We go to the gym in Camden. There's some tension there. So he comes in here on Saturday, and I'm pissed that he showed up. Like, I'm fucking finally here. I'm by myself in here Saturday. He shows up, piddles around the shop. He's like, can we talk? I'm like, what's up? He's like, so I'm moving. And I'm like, cool. So you got that fucking house you're looking for. He's going to move out of the apartment over here. I'm like, when do you move? He's like, no, I'm going back to California. I go, really? Is that right? We had just come back from SHOT Show, right? Okay, so we had gone to SHOT Show. I hauled his ass out to SHOT Show, paid everything for SHOT Show. We came back, and the weekend after we got back from SHOT Show, he tells me he's moving. So I'm like, okay. He's like, but I'm still going to work here for 6 weeks for you. I go, no, you're not. Grab your stuff. You're out of here, fucking, because I'm not going to let you fucking go through my shit and try to find some more fucking lines of fucking, sabotage me or fucking, get more information.
At this point, he had access to your customer database,
access to
patterns.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I launch him out, and he fucking piddles around Camden for 2 weeks, and I don't understand it. So when he finally gets out, when I go to the same landlord who was renting him the apartment for some other employees, I get to talking to this dude, and he's like, yeah, that guy gave me fucking 4 weeks ago, which was right about the timeline when I chewed his ass. He had already fucking given notice that he was leaving and shit. So I'm like, Andrew, dude, you fucking owe me. It was $600 something, whatever. He owed me some money. So $600. Let's say it's $600. So he goes and fucking takes off, packs up, ships a fucking 70-inch television home, ships it, has the money to ship that, has the money to fucking rent a truck and take all his personal shit home, and then tells people he didn't have the money, he'll send me a check. So he got home and started building these, and it was kind of like he'd build 5 and I'd fucking build 100 of them. I would sit here myself and build these motherfuckers. So he had the nerve to call up Amanda, and he's like, why is John building these chickens, the combat cocks? Why is he trying to put me out of business? And she fucking played the message for me. And I said, I'm not, and I sent him an email. That's when I sent you the email too.
Right.
So I'm not trying to put you out of business. If I was trying to put you out of business, I would give away one of these with every order. And then the light went off. I'm like, that's a fucking pretty good idea. I think we'll do that. So we gave away every order we put a fucking cock into. So time goes by, and I'm having fun fucking with him, and I know he's pulling his hair out over it. He's trying to start a business.
He had people call me
right.
to beg mercy.
Right. So, and he worked for Andrew Ho, a friend of mine, owns Airsoft Extreme. Yep. He was an airsoft kid, gun tech, good at what he did for that industry.
Right.
And some time goes by, we don't really hear much from him. I find a Facebook page, which he has his buddy set up under another name, but somebody recognized his keychain. He had a little Lego guy keychain, and that's how I knew I knew this. I had a feeling it was him, but I didn't know until he slipped up and put the fucking evidence in there, and I put 2 and 2 together. So I found the Facebook page. He puts up pictures. I put up pictures. So he ends up, he's making our pelter wrap, making slings, making some fucking micro rigs identical to our fucking micro rigs. He's making some other shit. And finally, Snipers Inc. came out. Mm-hmm. Chris Barrett and all them had filmed out here with Nat Geo.
Right.
And he made some posts that night on Facebook, and he was basically told, hey, you're fucking excommunicated. You're not welcome at Tactical Response. You're not welcome in Camden. If you come here, terrible things will happen to you. You stay in fucking California. That's what you've chosen. And my guess is he's tilting him up, gets a little drunk, and talks some shit on Facebook. Enough so that when I walk in here, I've got 3 emails, one of them being from my attorney, going, hey, this dude is saying these things. We need to shut this down. I'm like, I agree. Run with it how you need to run with it. So Dana fucking sent some emails. He's like, you can have your attorney call my attorney. I'm like, yeah, that's what we're doing, motherfucker, because my attorney just fucking called your work. We're about to have you served with some papers from the fucking Marshal Service in California. Who is your attorney so my attorney can contact your attorney? Because, So right. We sent some cease and desist and all that stopped. And today he is making many of our products fucking spot on identical.
Let's not say his name.
No, we're not going to say his name.
Not worth it.
No, we never do. Because me saying his name would give him more publicity right now than he's had in the last 4 years.
Right.
So.
And the only thing that's remarkable about him is what a piece of shit he is. That's like the only interesting thing about him is how bad he stinks.
Dude, you were right. Like, you were right. I'll tell you. I had no idea we were going to talk about this when we turned this camera on, right? I didn't know where you were going with it.
I didn't even think of it.
But Colin's back there behind the camera. And, when I have a sixth sense about somebody, I usually come, before there's a major problem, I'll come to Colin or Amanda 3 or 4 weeks ahead of time and go, I think this. I hope I'm wrong. And that's how Ben was with this. Dude, it fucking played out A, B, C, D, E. And he was fucking 100% spot on. So, this kid's out there. He's in California. He's making gear. SWAT guys from his hometown who we did business with have gotten in touch with me many times. And they're like, hey, we paid this kid this money. He won't fucking return our phone calls. We're asking him where our fucking duffel bags are. He said, this guy's like, I just got on the SWAT team and I fucking vouched for this guy. I'm like, this guy can make our shit. We'll fucking kick down. I collected money, gave him the money. And fucking, months later, we're going, hey, where's this shit at? And he never replies, and he'll get back to me in the middle of the night at fucking midnight with some stupid-ass text, like a quote from a cartoon. Like, giggity giggity or some shit. That's what he was saying, like the fucking dude from Family Guy or whatever. So, they're not happy with him. He's just some dude doing this as a hobby. He's basically still, what is that?
My phone?
Oh, okay. So he's basically still living in his mom's house. He's got one sewing machine, and he learned from me, fake it till you make it. Don't say I, say we. Don't show one, show fucking a bunch. Make it appear bigger than it is until it's bigger than it is. And he does. He learned. He apprenticed with me for 6 months, and I rubbed off on him. And the kid, he's smart. He has the appearance of doing shit, but he's really not.
Right.
So
bloney.
Yeah, that's the deal. It didn't.
So
it hurt my feelings,
right?
More than it didn't hurt anything else. It just fucking hurt my feelings,
right? Yes,
and that's why I distance myself from a lot of people. I'll have employees here, but it's not like it used to be. We used to all go places. I'm close with Colin. I'm close with, a couple other people, but like we keep our distance.
Your name is Colin?
Mm-hmm.
Someone told me it was Pablo.
Pablo.
Yeah, he calls me Pablo.
Do you remember the Jerky Boys?
Yes.
Come to Florida, Pablo. Have you been washing your ass, Pablo? That's how he got named Pablo.
I got some Mexicans on the roof.
Yeah, I just fired one off. Asbestos, I put mustard on the shit and eat it.
I'll sue you for punitive damages.
Yeah. Joey's bad hurt. We just launched a tennis ball in his ass and it stuck.
What else, guys?
What's the worst jail you ever been?
Jail?
Yeah, which is the one you like the least?
In the United States?
Anywhere.
San Bernardino's pretty bad. Probably San Diego County. San Diego County was fucking dirty as fuck, way overcrowded. Dude, I ain't been in a jail in fucking long time.
I was in Pinellas County just like about a year and a half ago. You know about that.
That was silly shit.
But yeah, nonetheless, I didn't like it. I was only in for 6 hours, but
He was there 6 hours and fucking he already organized and overthrew the prison.
my wife is funny. So she called me out. I was telling someone a story, and I go, "Well, the one thing I learned in jail." She goes, "You were there for 6 fucking hours." I was like, "No one knows that. It sounds cool."
When you go to jail, like you learn how to cook gourmet shit with nothing. Like you can make some meals that motherfuckers want to take photos of in a microwave with some Tupperware.
That sounds like deploying overseas. You know,
Dude, that's what I tell. That's what I told people. I'm like, going to prison or going to jail is much like being on a deployment, but it's longer.
Yeah.
And you don't get to go into port, and you don't get to fuck unknown strange bitches. Well, I mean, my roommate, like I haven't ever talked on camera about prison. I was in Lompoc. I was in the minimum. I was supposed to go to the low camp, and I was in the minimum security in what used to be Club Fed. We were where the golf course was. So we were it was squad bays on the end. It was like 36-man dorms on the ends. And the hallway had 10 doors on each side, and there were 4 bunk beds. So there were 8 dudes. We had full-size lockers. And my roommate was fucking the warden's daughter. Fucking the dog shit out of the warden's daughter. Because she was a guard there.
Oh my goodness.
Like there were, every 6 months or so, and I don't know about all prisons, but these prisons there, every 6 months or so the FBI would be in there doing an investigation because some fucking inmate knocked up some bitch that worked there, and she was having his baby. Like it happened fucking all the time, man. It was like some shit up
Jesus Christ
off a TV show. There were no shankings. There was nothing crazy. We had computers. We had computer labs. Like I got there, and it's like a campus. It's very much like college. I played tennis. Fucking, we had brand new Life Fitness cardio equipment. We had a really nice soccer field. Like we had a lot of Mexicans in there. You had the Serranos and the Northerners. Not a lot of MS-13, fucking shanking motherfuckers because it's a low.
Yeah,
mostly like dudes that shouldn't have been in prison. They were in there for fucking coming across the border with weed and shit.
Right.
But they could play some fucking soccer, man.
Now, given that it was a less horrible prison, were guys more likely to behave so that they don't get transferred somewhere else?
Yeah, because they've categorized those dudes. Like dudes that are in there, gang related shit or, high power stuff. They're across the street at the minimum or, at the max or wherever. But I spent 2 years, 22 months taking college classes. My professors were Cal Poly instructors, Business 101, 102, accounting, managerial accounting, public communications, which is, speech. Mm-hmm. Just taking, I stayed busy. Fucking school. And I never would have stopped to take any college classes had I not been fucking locked up, bored. So you just, keep your time. So I got there, and I was in classification for like 5-6 days, and they put you out on this campus, and you're wide-eyed. You're like waiting for the fucking being jumped into the gang or whatever,
right.
And it never came. And it's big ass pine trees, nice, fucking squirrels running around, motherfuckers feeding them and shit. Old federal judges that were in there for, fucking clients to let them off, shit like that kind of stuff. So I got there and I get called over to education. I'm like, man, I just got here and here I am in trouble. I'm getting called over to these offices. I get in there and the 2 dudes in education are like, hey, I just want you to know we own a lot of your product, and we know you from Light Fighter, and we're part-time San Bernardino or Santa Barbara SWAT cops, and we got MP5. Like, he just started going off telling me all this shit. I'm like, that's cool. I ended up sending those dudes every year I was there. Every Christmas, I sent them shit. I had Surefire Institute guys send them flashlights for Christmas every year and shit.
Oh, that's awesome.
My life could have been harder. It was definitely easier. They're like calling me in. Hey, so you can sew? Can you fix this? Shit like that. I learned how to string tennis rackets. I played fucking tennis. I fucking ran and fucking did all kinds of shit. It sucked. I mean, you're away from home.
Right.
My wife went sideways. My business fucking collapsed while I was gone. It was fucking stolen from me, and I came home.
We reconnected.
And we restarted
instantly. I think I was on the phone with you within days. Of you leaving your.
James got a hold of me. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. Like, I knew shit was fucked up coming home, but I had money, and I got home and found I didn't have any money, and I got home and found I didn't have a business and I didn't have shit. I came home thinking, at least I've got what I've built or some of it left. And I got home and got served with divorce papers and a restraining order the second I hit the halfway house. So now I've got nothing. Like, I have no access to any of this. So I have to have a job to leave the halfway house. Well, they let you go out during the day and look for a job. First 2 days I was there, I got 2 jobs as a pizza delivery driver, which was intentional so that I could use the phone while I'm fucking working, driving around. I can start doing some shit. And then I had a 3rd job within the end of the week. So here's this dude out of fucking prison that has to go in and go, hey, I'm out of prison, and I know that looks bad, but I need you to give me a job, and I need you to trust me with your shit, and it's all gonna be okay. So I had 3 fucking. So that's when dudes are like, I can't get a job, or there's just no work. I had a lot of shit against me that a lot of people don't have against me, but I had fucking 3 jobs within a week.
Right.
So James gets a hold of me, and he's like, hey, we're going to send you a check for $2,500. I don't know whether you're going to start your company over again, but if you do, just consider this a down payment. Send us $2,500 worth of gear sometime in the next couple of years, whenever you can.
So he fronted you.
Yeah, and he also said, if you don't start your company, this is $2,500. Go live your life, and fucking thanks for what you've done in the past. I came home with a pair of sweatpants that I'd worn the fucking year and a half I was gone, a pair of tennis shoes I'd bought from commissary with my big toe sticking through, and a couple shirts that I had, and then, my mom picked me up, took me to halfway house, because I had to be there within, 10 hours or whatever the drive was from Santa Barbara, and check in, and, I had a couple pieces of clothing. That's literally what I had. I didn't have a driver's license. I didn't have a social security card. I had no documentation as to who I was, because my ex-wife never fucking sent any of that shit back to me. I got 3 fucking jobs as a delivery driver within a fucking week without having any of that shit.
No form of identification.
No. So
amazing.
So I'm able to get out now, and I'm telling them I'm still going to look for other jobs. I'm wherever I go, I get a business card and go, here I was here when I'm not at work. And I'm on the phone fucking hustling, and I finally get over to Wells Fargo Bank where I bank, and I talk to this dude at a branch that I'd never really banked at, and just told him my story. I'm like, look, this was my bank account. This is what has happened. I just fucking laid it out. This is what's going on. And he fucking got on the computer and showed me this bank account was closed on this date, because my wife had power of attorney. So she closed that bank account. All the money was taken out. A new account was started here. The money went here. This was fucking changed over. So, like, we knew what had happened. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to fight this fight. So on Get Off the X, we said, okay, I need some money. I'm going to take some prepayments. We're going to build this gear sometime. You will get your gear. And I'm going to take this money and get an attorney and fight this fight. And, try to get my shit back and, do that. So after talking to the attorney a couple times, going to court a couple times, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. She can just have it. It's yours. Keep it. She paid herself $960,000. No, $98,000. So
Per year.
$98,000 per year. Each year is what she fucking took as payment for the 2 years I was gone. So then I get hit with child support, and I've got I got a little fucking bullshit couple jobs, and I'm starting to make some fucking gear. Child support comes in and goes, well, you filed joint taxes, so you made $100,000 a year for the last 2 years, so you owe $1,500 a month in child support. I wasn't making $1,500 a month in child support, so I'm just dodging child support, trying to stay out of fucking jail. Finally get off fucking federal probation. Federal probation officer's cool as fuck. I go in there, he's like, I read your casework, looks like you got fucked. Keep your mouth shut. Fucking, you're the least of my worries. Go fucking live your life. They were fucking totally cool. So.
Hey, do you want to say that guy's name? Do you remember it?
Probation officer?
Yeah, the guy who was cool. Oh,
I don't even remember him. So, you know, I did my 3 years probation, and 30 days after that was up, we moved out here. The money James loaned me, the $2,500, the check they sent, I went and rented 2 sewing machines, called up all my vendors, said, hey, we've done millions of dollars in business. I'm starting over again. You're going to take a risk. You're going to send me a bunch of shit, has free samples, and I'm going to rebuild my business, and we're going to be doing millions of dollars of business. And every one of them sent me fucking shitloads of webbing and material and samples, cuts. So we started building shit. We built up, myself and a couple of other people I had working with me, Amanda, one of them. We built a bunch of subloads that James had said he wanted, and we paid that $2,500 back in gear 6 weeks after he sent it to me. And we just kept doing it. And the internet, like when we were doing this shit when I left, the internet was around. There were some forums and stuff, but it wasn't like it was. Like, we didn't have texting when I went, when I went to prison. I come home and all of a sudden I'm texting and shit. And things are definitely faster now. Like, we talk about being in business before the internet. We really were, when you think about it, we really were in business before there was fucking internet.
Yeah.
And now it's just so fast, man. We can connect. I can put something on Facebook and 375,000 people see it, and their friends all see it.
Right.
So it goes fast, man. There's no telling what we'll be doing 5 years from now.
The Industrial Revolution changed the world in 3 or 4 years.
Right.
The technological revolution is changing the world every
day.
hour. I was sitting there, I was in this dude's car today, and he's got, I have a Mercedes, and people bitch that it doesn't have a lot of electronic gadget interface.
Right.
And I talked to an engineer from Mercedes who was traveling through Tampa, happened to run into him, and he said that's for a purpose. Because technology changes so fast, those implements become useless.
Sure they do, right.
90 days after you get it.
Yeah.
They're old before they're in production.
Right.
Technology. Do you drink?
Man, I didn't ever drink. I've never been drunk to the point like I can't walk.
Like Ben Thomas drunk. You've never been Ben
No.
Thomas drunk.
No, I've seen Ben Thomas drunk. I don't think anybody's been Ben Thomas drunk.
He's definitely not talking.
I have never not been able to get home. I've never been intoxicated to the point where I have a hangover. I do drink occasionally. I love fucking margaritas.
I make a great margarita.
Oh.
And, when I say I do something great,
Right.
I'm fucking great. The key is fresh ingredients. I use what's that sugary Mexican shit that's
Sweet and sour.
No.
Triple
Creme
sec.
Marnier.
No. I'm talking about the agave.
Okay.
I use agave as a sweetener. It's a key because it's very subtle and it's consistent with the whole theme of it. It's like you don't fucking mix Mexican with Japanese.
Right.
And when you're making a margarita, it's got to be indigenous to that area. Margarita is a truly Mexican drink. So I use fresh lime juice, fresh squeezed lime juice. I prefer key limes, which are small and very bitter. Then I use the agave, and I use Cointreau. And I don't salt them. And I never blend them. You know what I mean?
Right.
It should be shaken, poured over rock.
Okay.
I don't make them into slushies. I also make a mean pina colada, again from scratch. I learned how to make those in Hawaii.
So the deal was, like, I watched you guys drink, and I'm like, man, I'm never going to get into that. If I fucking start drinking, I'll become an alcoholic.
Right.
I don't have the money to spend on it. I can never see buying a bottle of something that costs $1,000 or whatever. But when you fast forward, and now I've got, nicer cars and watches and shit. And the thing behind that is, when you have that car, other dudes with that car are drawn to you. When I put that car picture up on Facebook, 1,000 other dudes with a car like that or nicer, or dudes that are like, hey, that's a nice car, whatever it is. Now all of a sudden, I have a bunch of dudes on the internet that have that same car that know who I am. And they start looking at the Facebook pictures. Well, fucking all rich dudes with nice cars, whether they're liberal or whatever it is, they all have fucking guns. Every fucking one of them. And they now want to give me money because I got the same watch or the same car. So when you meet these dudes, you know, you're at shows or whatever, after a show you're going to dinner and they all fucking are drinking fucking $100 a glass cups of shit. And I'm like, and I'm fucking drinking water. Like, I got no idea what that shit is. So I start dabbling in it, more for education than anything.
Right.
Just so I know what the fuck, so I can talk the talk, so they can buy more of my shit. It's like Horton said. Like, I'd have never, if you'd have asked me fucking 2 years ago, I went into a jewelry store where Colin was working to look at a Tag Heuer watch for Amanda. And they had a black and red Tag Heuer in there. And I'm drawn to black and red shit. Never really owned any black and red shit until a couple years ago, probably. But Amanda's like, black and red's always been your color. That's your fucking logo on your that's your SOE logo. It always has been. And the only reason I did that is because it was different than Eagle and Blackhawk and fucking London Bridge. Everybody had a fucking bird. It was Blackhawk and Thunder Chicken, whatever it was. So we went different.
Thunder Chicken.
Our shit says, what do you make? Special Operations Equipment. We've had that name for fucking 25 years now. Motherfuckers are like, you guys weren't in special operations? There's no special... No shit, dipshit. But we were making this before you were alive. So,
right.
School me. So, the car and watch thing, we started doing that just because it associated with us. So, Horton, right. I go into the jewelry store to look at a watch for Amanda. Colin shows me, I'm drawn to this one. It's like $2,000. And that motherfucker pulls out this $7,000 watch. And I'm like, who the fuck in their right mind would buy a $7,000 watch? I can buy a damn... I'm in fucking Camden, Tennessee. I can buy a house for $7,000. It'll have wheels, but nonetheless. Right. So, we leave. And Colin, like I'm talking to him, somehow we just start, he mentions guns. Like, I had no idea. All I saw was this buff little motherfucker in a suit that looked like a pimp. Like, hey, I don't want to buy a watch, but I'll bet he fucking sells some blow. Like, so...
Did you sell blow at the time?
No.
Not at the time. So, and I've never done any blow. I've never been stoned. I've never done any, like, I've never done any drugs like you would think of drugs. I might have used some performance enhancing type stuff.
Steroids. But
I've never done coke or weed or any of that stuff.
I've done a lot of coke. No
So he texted me this picture of this fucking RS-17, RS-2 fucking Tag Heuer, and it's black and red, and it's a Grand Carrera, and it's fucking like $12,000, and he's like, it's the last one in the company. There's like 5 in the United States, and I've got 1 here. I'm like, I'm not buying this motherfucker, but I really want to see what a fucking $12,000 watch looks like. So we drive down there, and I just wanted to see Colin. The first time I met Colin, when we walked out of there, I looked at him and I go, I would hire that little motherfucker in a heartbeat. I don't even know what he can do. He can juggle. I'll hire him. So we go back over there, really just to see Colin, look at the watch. We walk out of there, and she's like, why don't you get that watch? I'm like, I can't afford that watch. She's like, yeah, you can. Fucking get the watch. I'm like, I'll never fucking buy a $5,000, $10,000 watch. So, the thing with Horton had like a Panerai that was like $6,000 or whatever. I'm like, motherfucker, people ask him, why do you wear these expensive watches? Yeah, Cody's wearing it right there. So Horton will tell you, he's like, man, I make knives. I wear a $10 pair of Dickies. I wear a t-shirt a friend